Hi, my name is Haley LaPalme and I want to tell you the story of $7.43. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of money, does it? Especially not when you know that $7.43 is the average amount of dollars that a healthcare facility in Ontario has to feed its patients 3 meals a day. Now, I grew up eating somewhat different food than this from the local farmer's market. I also grew up playing in the forest by a cornfield near my house. But one day, that cornfield turned into a soccer field, and eventually the soccer field was paved over, turned into a parking lot, and then that even became a movie theater. A lot of Canadians have seen this kind of urbanization, and across the globe we notice a trend of rural to urban migration. Now, all my grandparents grew up on farms, but it was when my grandpapa, Jean-Louis, moved into town, he kept a swimming pool-sized garden in his backyard. So there I was, though, a teenager munching popcorn in the same place that it used to grow. It's not a natural thing to think, hey, where did this come from? Because it's easy to experience convenience, it's tough to look past it. Last year, our environmental organization was approached by a group purchasing organization with a bunch that represented a group of hospitals, and they were interested in looking past convenience. They showed us their measly $7.43, and they said, where's this going? So we started to map out their food system. We found that the hospitals were buying more than half of their food abroad and importing products that could have been grown at home in home industries that were shutting down because they couldn't compete globally. We had broccoli flying in on multiple passports when it was at season in home. But the thing is, food's not a commodity like cars or rubber. It makes sense to own the means of production to feed your own population at home. It's empowering, it's cultural, it's good for the planet, and it's good for local economics. Now all of a sudden, there's a lot of buying power associated with $7.43. Between the 25 hospitals that we were working with, their daily spending quickly accumulated to $10 million. If we could get 10% of the group purchasing organization's budget spent on local food, that would translate into thousands of dollars invested in Ontario's agricultural sector to make it not only valuable, but also viable. So we spent a year of asking questions. And now, 1 year later, 15% of their total budget is going towards the local economy, translating into $670,000 that wasn't previously in Ontario farming. And it didn't cost them a penny more. So $7.43 might not sound like a lot, but imagine what would happen if we all started asking questions and if we could leverage the buying power of our public sector institutions. All we've got to do is to ask them to spend their money more creatively and more critically, and to invest in one of mankind's most ancient and essential traditions, growing good food. So when you ask, you find value, and when asking in value and you see a lack of value, that's just the first step to creating positive change.